Let's get right to it. Larry Senneback is with us with First Rule. He's our tech guy. Good to have you back, Larry.
Hey, good morning. I know it's been a while.
All right, lots of quick. You have a couple of quick news.
Again, it's been a while, so I figured, hey, these are kind of 5 stories that have been interesting since I've been gone. For one, Amazon bought Ring. I know we've done Ring Video Doorbell.
Yes.
We've looked at that in the past. Great product, but Amazon's looking to tie into their let's come in your house delivery services. So that's kind of an interesting story. Google, you might have noticed, has removed the view image link from search results of photos.
What?
Yep. So if you now go search Google Photos or Google for just images,
Right.
you'll find the images, but there won't be like a way to quickly view the image. And that comes down from a Getty Images settlement. Getty thought they were basically
being taken advantage of.
yeah, exactly.
I
They're
use those
scraping
all
it.
the time.
I
I
do
use that all the
too.
time.
But
Yeah, because they were like, what does that girl look like?
there's
And
still
you-
ways around it. You can right click and save the image, but it's actually gone now, the actual image. So that's something.
Wow.
Authorities in Australia deactivated a transit pass that was implanted into a biohacker's hand. Kind of an interesting story if you didn't read that. He literally took the transit pass, had it implanted in his wrist, and was able to just go through that way. Very, very fascinating story. Fun to read. Graphene, the wonder material of the modern age, so it seems, was found that they could make essentially films out of it and create drinkable water from dirty water in a single step, basically by sucking it through a straw through a graphene film.
What's graphene? What is that? Some type of
Man, it's this new material, and again, I'm not a product engineer
Right.
or like a chemical engineer, but basically it's being used for everything from computers to solid state storage to the new batteries, like graphene batteries. So these batteries that hold about the same as your normal battery, but can charge instantaneously. So imagine you have the new phone batteries might be graphene batteries. They still last you, a day's worth.
Right.
But instead of having to plug in for 15 minutes or 30 minutes, you literally plug in for about half a second. You've got your full charge.
Wow.
Very fascinating stuff.
And it cleans dirty water into drinkable
It
water?
does almost everything. It's a wonder material.
goodness.
If you want to look up something interesting, look up some graphene.
All right.
So, and then finally, MIT got a $50 million budget to build a nuclear fusion plant. So fusion is no longer a thing out of science fiction.
Fusion, where they put the atoms back together.
Right? And then all you have is helium and water as your byproducts. Some good byproducts
Right,
for
right,
producing
right.
power. You basically create a small sun, and they have to use force fields to hold it. It's crazy. Some neat science. So if you're looking for science stories, those are some to go check out.
All right.
Moving right along, though, yesterday we lost Professor Hawking. I'm sure you guys
Yes,
talked about that.
right.
Big loss to the science community. And so it reminded me of one of the main questions I get from parents, which is, I have a daughter, I have a son, I have a granddaughter, whatever it might be, I'm really interested in, they're interested in technology, they're interested in computers. What can I do to kind of foster that?
Right.
And what I always tell people is check out this product. We've talked about it before, called the Raspberry Pi. And yesterday on Pi Day, which was 3/4, they released the newest version, the 2018 version of the Raspberry Pi. What it is it's a credit card sized computer.
Okay.
And it's $35. Even the new one, $35. And it has everything that the person interested in STEM or the kid could possibly want. Not only is it a full-fledged computer, and you could load on all these different projects basically onto an SD card on the thing, but it can teach kids how to program. So you don't have to necessarily know how to program, but there's tons of community projects out there that can turn this thing into an Alexa-powered dash cam, an electric skateboard that actually runs the skateboard. One of those NES or SNES classics you're seeing that are so popular with the video games in the stores, but you could create your own. And then they're all projects you will follow step by step. You don't have to be an engineer or someone that's really, really good at technology, but it's a great way for kids to learn. And it's a $35 computer. If
So
they
that's
break
a
it-
35, and then you just add on your this or your that or your USB port or whatever
Right,
else.
it runs off an SD card, so you just have an SD card that plugs in. And the nice thing about the new Raspberry Pi is it's got Wi-Fi built in. It's got everything built in that you'd want. And you're able to literally download these images of these projects, flash it with one click. You follow the instructions, and all of a sudden it turns this little credit card sized machine into something interesting.
Where do you buy that?
amazing.
You can buy it off Amazon.com. Probably
you
is the
can.
easiest way to get it. I mean, there's 1,000 other places. They even, I think, here at Micro Center down in
So
Brentwood
if
Promenade,
you
can buy
go
it
and
too.
you buy a Raspberry Pi for $35, I can then Google things to do with Raspberry Pi,
Sure.
and it'll come up
Raspberry
with a million.
Pi projects, and it'll come up with tons of stuff. And it's great because yes, it's good for those kids that want to learn. And if they break the $35 computer,
Right.
$35, but it's also great for engineers like myself. I use these all the time in professional settings to do any number of things. I mean, these things are infinitely useful, and just it's one of those kind of evergreens that I wanted to bring back up, and especially now that, again, we've lost Professor Hawking, we need more kids in the STEM field so we can find that next great mind.
Raspberry Pi.
They're great.
All right, cool. That's Larry Sennebach with First Rule. Great as always. I will say this, though. You Google or you go to YouTube and say, you know, how do you make X? And YouTube has never failed me.
YouTube's amazing, and I think it's one of those things when you realize the training out there, and you can learn anything overnight.
So you can just go and say, raspberry, make a Raspberry Pi.
Heck, you could learn German too. I mean, it's incredible what you can do on YouTube.